Good morning, all. I'm almost there. This is just a dog thing, just taking care of a quick dog thing. Good to see you guys. Looks like my mic's working. We're about to start the stream. This is episode 111, Camp Sovereignty. Good to see you guys. Just prepping something for my dog that I forgot he needs. And yeah. Almost there. Thanks for waiting. One day I'm going to have a really good start. Like I'm actually just going to start. And it's going to be awesome. You guys are going to be, there he is. That's how he does it. All right. Get that light back on. This light back on. And welcome. Welcome. Good morning. Happy Friday. It's great to be here. Glad to see you guys. Thanks for coming back. Today we're going to talk about unanimous government. We're going to talk about sovereignty, something we've mentioned in the past. A couple days ago, we did a nice dive into the Iroquois Confederacy and how that actually worked. I explained to you a fundamental difference between the Iroquois Confederacy and the bicameral House that we have in place right now. That massive difference is we as in America invented something called majority rule. And when you invent something called majority rule, it looks great on paper. Everyone's like, oh my God, democracy, I'm so hard. And you start to get this idea of how amazing it is. But then when you really start to read the fine print, you realize that what democracy truly means is the zeitgeist is now able to outvote the individual. And that truly is the antithesis of democracy, which we've talked about. And so I feel like I've kind of beaten that horse for a good bit. I'll definitely beat it again. But what we haven't gone through is what to do in its place. How can this work? How can we create something new on top of something really, really shitty, right? And I have an idea for that. I'm not the only one with that idea. And that's what I want to try and lay out today. Now, if you guys are new to me, let's go over a few ground rules to be here in the live stream. Number one, prune my lips. I've never once told you guys I am the holder of answers. I'm trying to give you ideas that will expand the way that you're thinking. This is an attempt to correct the retardation that has been stalled in all of us, whether that be with our empathy, with our morality, with our compassion, with our views on God, with literally with everything. All right. So what I'm telling you about unanimous government is not supposed to be the idea. It's supposed to be a starting framework. I do the same thing to you guys when I talk about chakras, right? When I go into chakras, I only use 7 fields. Well, I know people that I think actually have 28, right? And as I present these chakra fields to you, these energy fields, I tell you right up front, guys, this is not the framework. You're not supposed to keep notes on this. This is not a system. This is not invented by me, nor is it anyone's property. It's just simply a way of understanding your energy fields, right? We began this with the elemental field, right? Your base field outside of your skin, the area that's occupying your hair and a little bit longer. That hair is antenna. They're picking up on the electrical fields. That is your elemental aura. Next comes your sexual aura. We talked about that. Most people will never be able to dilate and create an asynchronous connection with you inside of your sexual aura because that is too close for comfort. That's your inner being, right? You only share that with certain people. And then up higher than that, you will share more with people on an emotional level, right? You may share your emotions with someone, but it won't mean that you'll have sex with them. So it's an even higher layer. And then up from that, we have the egoic layer, the layer that most people are telling you is evil and bad and leads to all the badness in the world. But your egoic layer is your heart. And so if you're going to shame your heart, you're probably going to be a shitty person after doing that for a while. But your egoic field is literally your heart. Your heart and your lungs are creating that field simultaneously. It's the rhythm of both those things that makes it so powerful. It's also the only field that rotates counterclockwise versus the others clockwise, which is kind of cool. And then up from your egoic field, you have your casual field, right? This would be literally what you're wearing, how you're presenting yourself, what your uniform is, stuff like that. It's an outer layer of field. You're not as big of a deal. You're not offended by the casual stuff, nor do you take offense by others. It's not so intimate, which is why you're not able to be as offended by it. And then of course we have your task field. The task field itself is sort of the electrical field people see in you when you are accomplishing a goal, right? If you're serious because you're working on a roof, you have a task field to you. That task field is don't fall. That task field is let's get this shit done, blah, 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 right? And then finally is your ancestor field, a field most of us don't even have, a field that's mostly been removed or deleted by society itself. What is atheism but the shedding of your ancestor field? Your ancestor field is your God field, by the way, but some of you who hate your ancestors and have demonized them to a pit don't know that. You probably think that your ancestors are just as evil, which is why you end up having to use a crutch to believe what is good. We've been through this too, but wow. This whole conversation about how evil is a farce, I can't believe how much misunderstanding there is about this. If I can clarify this in one phrase, I'm going to say it this way. Evil is an adjective. It's not a noun. Most of you want to make it a noun, or most people want to make it a noun. And when you create evil as a noun, it now has a place to live, it has a location, and it has a person. Once you define that, you no longer have to have compassion. In fact, you're encouraged to devoid, to remove, to obliterate your compassion. This is why evil is so bad. This is why that word evil is actually a curse on you. It's a curse on your compassion. It's telling your compassion that it doesn't have to be on all the time. It only has to pick up weights that are super light, that are super fluffy, super girly, right? This can be the idea of good and evil itself. When you're good and evil, you have a girly, I'm not going to use the word girly, you have a retarded form of compassion because you're only able to see things in polarities. And because you see things in polarities, you need an outside system, a system of morality to tell you what's right and wrong. Please, sir, tell me what's right and wrong. This is the fundamental difference between esoteric knowledge and exoteric knowledge. Something that Benjamin and Baldus and I hope we'll talk more and more about, because it really does define this whole idea of evacuation. When you have an exoteric philosophy, i.e., morality comes from outside of me. It's my job to try and find or take someone's instructions about what morality is, versus morality comes from inside me. It's my job to mine, refine, and create, to sculpt morality as best I can, using the tools in the environment that are given to me. That's esoteric, right? Morality outside the body is exoteric. I must seek morality from outside myself, for I am broken. I am not able to see that. This is really the fundamental difference, I think, between sovereignty and slavery. Most of us are still in that slavery mode where we need that morality crutch. We need that outside crutch to tell that everyone, like every other religion, is wrong except for mine, right? Or everyone else is wrong except for me. That's that crutch we need because it gives us strength. It makes us think our ideas must be stronger because we've created this quickening, right? That's the Highlander reference, the idea that there can be only one. And we saw that last week, didn't we? We saw that last week with the idea that if you were not to see the planet Venus as evil, that you yourself are evil incarnate. There was never an opportunity or a chance to have compassion for that. It was that kind of belief structure, that kind of quickening will always lead you right to the front of he's a sodomite or he's evil or whatever it is we want to cast at that other person, which is directly why I keep attacking that word evil is not really being legitimate. It's an adjective. It's an adjective. None of us are going to be able to truly encapsulate the word slowly. It's not something that you can tangibly touch. It's a relationship between things. And because of that, it's pushing it further away from the realm of what's experienceable, because to be lazy, to run slowly is a subjective decision. Because it's subjective, That's why it's a connection between two things. All right? It's what makes it subjective. One of us would call an eagle evil for eating that innocent fish. Another would see that process and look at it in a grander scheme of things and understand that actually that's not evil. In fact, it's good. It's literally the incarnation of good. And the reason why I say good is because it most resembles natural law. It most resembles what nature wants you to be. We've instead decided that you have to go to school and have morality installed in you, or that you have to go to church and have morality installed on you. That turns you into a retard. It sells you the idea that me know things. Me require information from outside my source. Me require exoteric knowledge so that I can fundamentally understand something as simple as natural law. The truth of the matter is that morality does come through natural law, which means it flows through every single blood vessel in your body. Natural law flows through all animals on earth, doesn't it? There's a natural law at the bird feeder. There's a natural law at the water cooler. There's a natural law at a bar. There's a natural law on the bus. These things have never been written down, but we've been believing that because they were written down once, they're therefore universal, and one person should really be the arbiter of that, and the rest of us should stop guessing. If one of us has a question about these natural laws, no one is telling us, well, you need to reread the natural laws over and over and over and over again until you don't have questions anymore. This is part of the manipulation that we fall under when we look for crutches. We are begging for crutches, so many of us are, and that's the manipulation that happens. If you're going to get a crutch, it's required to manipulate you. Otherwise, it won't be a valuable crutch, will it? It will be the opposite of that valuable crutch. It will serve to make you codependent on your morality, on what's your definition of right and wrong, on whether or not you should circumcise your kids, on whether or not you should get an abortion, and on whether or not you should go to war and bomb another school with drones. All of these things, when they're extracted from outside yourself, you're now required to ask for information from outside yourself, more information that you do not know whether or not it is true also, and then act on that in a moral way. This is why it's so twisted to pretend that morality comes from outside the body, because literally every single time we try and pull morality from outside of our body, someone gets killed, maimed, violated, or we lose our rights. It literally happens every time we do this. And it's funny how much pushback we get. The very people that pretend to fight Zionism are the very same people that insist there's only one way. There's only one solution. You can get it, buddy. You can get it. You got it. You got it. Good job, buddy. Good job. He's like, I've been wanting that peanut all morning, and I didn't have the courage, but now I do, and I have achieved victory. I have seized the torch of Prometheus. The Prometheus peanut was inside my reach, and there God set that peanut before me, and I said, no, I am not worthy. But then I thought about it, and after a while I decided I can get that peanut. Oh, and he jumped to the trees. You see, that squirrel scored. That squirrel was Prometheus. He's been looking at that peanut since dawn. He's been going, I want that peanut. I want it bad. And he got it. He got it. Is that squirrel evil? Is that squirrel evil for doing that? Or did he fulfill his obligation to break through that barrier and do something scary, right? That's really, really what this is all about. Nice one, Laura Bear. Squirrel parkour, for sure. It is the grand exercise, is it? The exercise is cannot be, we can't lead each other through. We can't, I can't hold your hand through these exercises in compassion, even though I keep trying to. God cannot hold your hand through these lessons in sovereignty. He doesn't even try to. He has a better way. He has Lord Technology. Lord Technology will install that desire in you for sovereignty. It's why it was here. Now, if Lord Technology was here to inspire sovereignty in you, then we no longer have to look at the Bible and say, well, God made evil to exist. He allowed evil. Because Lord Technology is not evil. Lord Technology is very specific. It's very trained. It's very strategic. It will always come after your consent. That's not evil. That's literally the antithesis of evil, is something that requires your consent. To go after your consent is not to be evil, guys. To go after your consent is to respect natural law. To go after consent is to adhere to natural law. The opposite of adhering to natural law would be something that we formally call evil. You could just simply call it retarded. I really think that that's a better word for us. If we could replace evil with retarded, you'll find that most of this fits into place. We'll find that just like someone who believes in Black Lives Matter has a retarded form of empathy, so too does someone say that morality does not come from you. That's someone retarded. They are thinking, I am not capable of doing these things, and no one else is capable of having these things. Therefore, that's evil too. So that evil becomes that label. It's an adjective. It's an adjective. And honestly, the more we believe in that word, the more easier it is to dismiss everyone around us that we don't like and call them evil. In fact, if we hear a rumor that our neighbor is a child molester, or our neighbor is a wife beater, or our neighbor is a racist, or our neighbor is whatever form we want to come up with, because we believe in evil, we are now authorized to treat that person like shit, even though we're functioning on rumor and innuendo. This is another downside to the Zionism. It's another idea buying into this idea that everyone's wrong but me. Everyone's wrong but me. That's the quickening that will never ever get you anywhere. So it's time to break free. It's time to stop buying into this bullshit, that there is this one universal source of information, of truth, and that source can somehow either be determined or not determined by everyone else around you. When in fact you have the intimate relationship with the universe. They don't. They don't. You are the only one directly connected to your universe. You are the only one that will ever bring morality into this world, just as you are the only one who will ever evacuate yourself to this world. And the moment you evacuate yourself to this world is the moment you start answering to the zeitgeist. It's the moment you start saying, well, everyone else hates this guy, so I will hate him too. Or everyone else called this guy a name, I will hate him too. Or everyone else loves this guy, I will love him too. That's not morality. That's not ethics. It's not being pious. It's not being forgiving. It's not being compassionate. It's being obedient. And if you were to look in the Old Testament, you will find that the goal of the Old Testament was obedience. This is the first step of Lord technology. I cannot train you how to be a dancer until you start at the first level and you find an obedience to a message. All right? So even though the goal is to create you as your own artist, Lord technology has to begin at a low level with obedience. He abandons obedience. He abandons obedience in the New Testament. He abandons it and replaces it with mercy and compassion. No longer is the world about obedience. Now it's about mercy and compassion. But a lot of us have decided, no. It's still about obedience. This is all about obedience. In fact, most people will attack me lately with the words, fear God. I fear God, James. That's why I know what's right. And that really does sell the difference between my faith for God and their fear for God. Both are looked at as faith. Both are looked at as something that creates this stability, that creates this idea that we are good. But actually being obedient isn't really necessarily being good, if we're going to use that word, is it? Being obedient is being obedient. Obedience doesn't breed worship. Well, it actually does breed worship. It doesn't breed reverence. It doesn't breed veneration. It doesn't breed compassion. It breeds obedience. And obedience is a special kind of skill. Obedience is something I learned in the Navy. I learned that it didn't matter what the idea was, how good the idea was, how bad the idea was. I was not there to bring up ideas. I was there to exercise my obedience. If the rest of the people in the Navy responded very much like many have been responded the last week, which is to say, James, you are immoral for asking questions. James, you telling the Navy that we should work out a way to have sonar that doesn't hurt whales is you being immoral. I was told that was immoral. I was told that that was non-patriotic. I was told that that was me hurting the greater good. So you learn right away. You learn right away, if you're paying attention, what the zeitgeist truly is and why it usually wins. The reason why the zeitgeist wins is because we do not have this system of unanimous government in place. We have a system of coercive government. It's a mob mentality, isn't it? When you have a mob rule, you get to say, this person is evil. We will chase him with torches. And the only reason why people would pick... It's funny how the same people that fear Prometheus will pick up a torch and chase that monster every fucking day, right? Whether that monster be a childless, lonely man who collects owls. That was the latest one I heard, which, man, the owls are cool. To that person is an evil Luciferian because they're talking nice about the planet Venus. Or that person has no morality because he's trying to suggest that he is the miner of his own morality, that he has to find it. So all three of those show you this same caste system that happens when you start to listen to the zeitgeist. When you follow the crowd, you lose the self. As the crowd gets bigger, the self retreats. It can't be both. Why? Because each of us abandon ourselves to the crowd. Each of us look at whoever is in the crowd conveying the most electricity, and we give our prana to them. This is why outrage will always outsell truth. This is why people will swear up and down, Pizzagate's real, how fucking dare you? And then you ask for proof and they shut the fuck up and run away. Because it's not about truth, it's about outrage. This argument with Owen was not about truth, it was about outrage. And the death threats I've gotten, all the bullshit I've gotten, all the unsubscribes I've gotten, all the people telling everyone else how they should beware of me because of what Owen said is outrage. It's not truth. It's fucking outrage. And I'll never win that battle, which is why I don't want those people. I'm not here to have an outrage camp. I know that most channels do that. They love fucking outrage. They love it when they can point at something and say, Luciferian, satanic, evil, blah, blah, not Jesus, not this, not that, not that. And you get this feeling of good. You get this feeling of good because you're on the opposite side of what you're calling evil. And it gives you this false sense of morality. It gives you this false sense of how much better you are than everyone else. Someone yesterday told me, well, why the fuck would I listen to a guy that doesn't have a family? I don't trust James at all. Owen was right. And my response is, that's so fucking weird that so many people that follow Jesus are insisting that we should ignore me because I didn't have a family. And Jesus didn't have kids. Jesus didn't have a family. Doesn't that mean that Jesus is a squirter? Doesn't that mean that Jesus is a Luciferian? Doesn't that mean that Jesus is evil too? Because if we're going to reject him because he doesn't have a family, what we're really doing is just responding to outrage. We're buying into this idea that those who are not outraged are the ones who do not have the truth. And those who are outraged are the ones that have the truth. And ladies and gentlemen, you've just invented Donald Trump. You've just invented the idea of how Donald Trump got here, of how every other personality gets here before that. It's about outrage. It's not about truth. This is a hard lesson for many of us because we're too terrified to embrace our own morality. That steering wheel is just too scary for us. We don't want that vigilance. We don't want it so bad that, thank God, there are camps that will curse anyone who tries to suggest that we should be the arbiters of our morality, that we should trust our gut, that we should understand that the person is more powerful than the zeitgeist, that the person is more real than the zeitgeist, that the individual is the source of natural law. I said person, and I want to stop saying person. Man, person can mean corporation too. I just read that. Where is that? Where is that? It's right out of Black's Law. Darn it, I can't find that quote. I'll pull that up again. But it's person isn't even real, guys. Person can mean corporation. If you look up Black's Law in the dictionary there, it can also mean corporation. This is I I'm going to have to redefine language. Some of you guys have gotten mad. Well, if you're just going to redefine all the words, then why bother? It's like, because the words are wrong. That's why. Because the words are wrong. That's why. As long as the words are wrong, we need to fix them. And this is one of those words that's wrong. Evil is a dangerous word. It's making you think it's a noun, and it's giving you the excuse to act shitty. It's creating the excuse that we can act shitty with each other. And I'm telling you, that's exactly what the theme of demonology was. King James' first book. It was this idea that how dare you, how dare you, how dare you, how dare you, how dare you. To all the pagans and heathens, to all the non-Jesus believers out there, to all the Luciferian satanic pedophiles, King James was battling the Luciferian evil satanic pedophiles by taking herbalists and putting them on the stake and burning them, while other people said, King James has a family, he's moral, we should follow him too. And even though I show you the passage of how Lucifer was capitalized when King James came around, that before that it literally just meant Venus the morning star, we follow that same outrage, we follow that same zeitgeist, and we lose the truth. The reason why we keep losing the truth is because we're afraid of being responsible for finding it. We'd rather have someone else do that job. Most of us don't have the calories to spend that much time on truth because the zeitgeist has created a situation where it becomes very difficult to find truth. They've created a tax on your schedule that drains it so much you're not able to take even the time it requires to contemplate and think about all the things that are inserted into your head every day. Just like right now. Most of us don't think it's a big deal that kids are going to be taken to school with masks on because we have outrage. And in the outrage game, real kids having to wear real masks in real school and real this fall are replaced with white hats secretly fighting Luciferian pedophiles that are here to convince you to abandon yourself and join them in the forest. To cast the forest with butt sex is a vote for Babylon. We want the forest. We don't want people afraid of the forest. We don't want people afraid of heathens. We don't want people afraid of anything but Christians. Guys, that is fucking pathetic. If you're a Christian and you're going to hate and fear someone because they're not a Christian, and you're going to label them whatever it is, you're not a Christian. You're ignorant. You're retarded. You're retarded when it comes to the tenets of what Christianity told you. It's literally begging you to sprout compassion. But you keep failing because you believe in evil. You keep failing because you buy into this shit where someone gets mad and someone casts someone into a pit and you join in. You're like, yes, let's fucking throw that fucker in the pit because he's not Jesus. And you ingest that. You bite into that apple, don't you? You take a big, thick bite. And you start to buy into this idea that, yeah, there's one right way and there's a million wrong. And I don't know what the right way is, but I know what the wrong way is. And this is what makes us grab these torches. Our fear of torches makes us pick up the torch and chase after another monster on another day, through another village, through another wardrobe, with another lion and another witch and another wardrobe. I realize retarded is a hard word, but I don't think we're going to learn anything if we're going to keep insisting that Zionism is real, that there's one way of looking at everything. I'm getting texts from people, James, don't say that, don't say that, don't say that. And they're looking out for me to say that. I don't think retarded is a bad word. I think it means someone was growing and they stopped. I think our compassion was growing and it stopped. I think it stopped the moment we bought into the idea that evil exists. We bought into the idea that evil is a noun. And that's when it all stopped. We stopped growing at that point. We stopped reaching. In fact, we developed a fetish and a fear of torches. We claim it's anything else but finding our sovereignty. And guys, that's why we have unanimous government. That's why we don't have unanimous government. That's why we have majority rule. That's why we've fallen from the time. We've fallen from that era. The seating of the Grand Council, where our elders were the fire keepers, and our bicameral house was our elder brothers and our younger brothers. A system where one person had the power to veto everything. A system where the only way any of us could govern is by having compassion for each of our views. Does unanimous government work by claiming, well, this guy, Teskaihi, he's a fucking Satanist, so screw him. Or Tekariho, he doesn't have kids, so fuck him. Or Shanekatari, well, he's not a Christian, so fuck him. There's a reason why Benjamin Balderson and I talk. There's a reason why people don't invite Benjamin Balderson on other channels. There's a reason why they don't invite me too. It's because we're not participating in majority rule. Benjamin and I believe that we both have a duty to find God. Benjamin and I believe we have a duty to mine truth. We believe we have a duty to refine morality as if we're carving stone. If you don't have that view, I accept your view. I understand where you're coming from. I personally believe that that's retarded. I believe that what happened is that you came to morality about 13 and then you got scared. You were told by someone else that you couldn't trust yourself for that. And so you evacuated. You said, I must evacuate my ability to mind my own morality because I'm not willing to take this chance. I'm not willing to carry this weight. And it's the easiest thing in the world to abandon your morality because everyone's doing it. Everyone is doing it. I have Benjamin Balderson on because his work is important. Whether or not you know it, whether or not Benjamin knows it, when you hear him talk, you are seeing an oscillation, a vibration from deep in his root. And that oscillation, that vibration is saying, I do not believe in evil. I believe in the power of myself. I believe in the power of my ancestors, of the soil, of the forest. I reject the idea of majority rule in Babylon. I reject the idea that there can be only one. That takes a huge kind of bravery. And everyone's going to give you shit for it if they're too afraid to do it themselves. And I think that's why we don't have unanimous government anymore. I think when Watiko arrived, unanimous government had to fall apart. The tapestry of agreements had to end. Because there's no way in this council any one of these people could be evacuated. There's no way anyone in this council could be a Zionist. That kind of shit doesn't fly when you're dealing with sovereign free men. This is our time to rise. This is our time to shine. This is our time to remember what America used to be. All these towns, all these cities, all this culture has been destroyed. It's been destroyed and erased so you wouldn't find it. The reason why it's been erased so you wouldn't find it is so you would forget the idea of sovereignty and you'd buy into the idea of Zionism. Every single mound in America, with the exception of a tiny, tiny, tiny few, has been changed. It's either been dug up, relegated, sold, mined, or moved. The amount of work it took to place this much dirt is phenomenal. The amount of history and understanding we lost by deleting these cultures is unfathomable. There's so much history here waiting for us. It's everywhere. Here's DeSoto's expedition. You think he would do all these crazy turns if there weren't big cities to see? Look at it. He was exploring an old world, not a new one. He was getting to meet the people of America. This is a barren mound. All these are mounds, guys. Okay, that's not. This is how you erase history. With horses and wagons and Zionism. This is what used to be here. I'd like you to imagine that you have 100 acres. I'd like you to imagine that you believe in sovereignty. I'd like you to imagine that you want to help create a new world. Let me rephrase that you want to help restore. That you want to help restore a new world. So you take that 100 acres and you're like, well, I definitely want to be able to do what I want to do whenever I want to do it. And so you take that 100 acres and you take 90 of it, let's say. And you say, this is all mine. These 90 acres are all mine. But I have this other 10 acres and it's interesting. It's right here by the stream. It's got some potential for gatherings. It's natural. It's beautiful. I would actually like to be the steward of this 10 acres. I'd like to sort of make it my own canvas. Very similar to how each of us decorate our front yards now. You would look at this 10 acres as your sort of pride soil. Soil that you've planted pride into because you don't think pride's a bad word. And soil that you've cultivated to create this new kind of garden for sovereignty. So you take that 10 acres and you call it sovereign land. And because it's sovereign land, that 10 acres you've now decreed to a tribe. Your tribe. You get to name it. You get to pick its colors, its flag, whatever. You are the founding elder of that tribe, and that's what you do. You are a tribe of one. And you took that tribe of one, and you declared these 10 acres. You planted your staff. You punched it 19 times, and you said, this is sovereign land. I am giving this 10 acres back to the living soil. This land is alive. It's not owned by one person. It's owned by sovereign humanity. And that 10-acre land, you're going to run with natural law. Natural law and unanimous government. You're going to start a council for that 10 acres, and you will be the firekeeper. You will be up top here. And as the only firekeeper, this tribe is unanimous, which means this tribe grows based on a unanimous vote. So the very first day you want to add your wife. You would like your wife to be in that tribe. So you have a meeting. You have a Grand Council meeting, and as the firekeeper, it's your job to host that meeting, and you have no elder brothers or younger brothers because you are a tribe of one right now. So you vote unanimously. Your wife is now in that tribe. This continues. Your neighbor lives nearby. You respect him. You respect him so much that you guys help each other all the time. You decide that this sovereign 10 acres of land, you would like your neighbor to be in this tribe too. And you negotiate with him and you figure out a way for him to enter the tribe. And now that he's in the tribe, he has unanimous vote too. Which means now 3 of you control that 10-acre part of land as sovereign land. Now you as the original owner, you as the elder, are always on this council, which means you always get a veto. In fact, everyone does. Your wife gets a veto, so does your neighbor. Notice what we've done to voting. We've turned it over. We've turned it over upside down. We suggested that the power is not in the vote. The power is in the veto. Because truly, the veto is the essence of sovereignty. The essence of sovereignty is, I do not consent. Right? It's not I do consent, it's I do not consent. That's the essence of sovereignty. And that's the essence of unanimous government. I hold the veto. I have the ability to say no. That's a very, very powerful responsibility. It's so powerful that when you take this 10 acres, and let's say you've added 19 people, and you maybe have 2 elders, and you have 7 people on this side, right? Or I'm sorry, 8 people on this side, and 16, 17, 18, and 9 people on this side. So you've got 8 elder brothers, 9 younger brothers. And you've established this bicameral system. You're now functioning on a much different level. If you guys wanted a pavilion on that land, all of you would have to agree, yes, this pavilion's a good idea. And all of you would be there to make it happen, because your vote is your action. What you do is your vote. And every new moon, if you want, every new moon you say, we are having a seating of the Grand Council. And you go to that 10-acre land and you develop a fire pit, and you sit in that fire pit and you light a fire. Even if no one's there, you light a fire. And you say, this is the first meeting of the Grand Council. I am Bob the firekeeper. This was my land, and I give it to sovereignty. And you've just had your first tribal meeting. You've just had your first powwow, your first new moon gathering, your first thing, whatever you want to call it. And you're establishing a precedence. You're establishing a rhythm. Boom, every new moon. Boom, every new moon. Boom, every new moon. And your entire focus for that new moon turns into what's called potlatch, a giving ceremony. And anyone else in your tribe really, really takes this seriously, because you realize how beautiful it is to give and how beautiful it is to watch people receive. And a whole new currency sparks up from your initial generosity of giving that 10 acres and calling it sovereign land. Not only could you call it sovereign land, but you could join the underground campfire network. You could join an underground network of sovereign lands, and you could call it a nation. In fact, regardless of where your land is, you could join any nation you wanted to across the United States. These nations are bound by friendship. They're bound by agreement. And when these nations start to form, we start to return to what the Amish have been doing this whole time. Raising giant barns, creating thick, rich communities, and having a resonance economy that's already in place to fulfill it all. And it started with you giving that land to that idea. I have a plot of land here. I would want to do that too. I've asked everyone for money I can. I just don't have it right now. One day I will. One day someone will see this idea and say, James, that's a fucking great idea. Let's do that land. Let's do it. And it'll happen. It'll happen when it's ready. It doesn't have to be my land. That's the beauty of this idea. I don't need you to give me money for it. I need you to create this yourself. It doesn't have to be 10 acres. It could be 1 acre. It could be 40 acres. It could be 50. This idea isn't even an idea, guys. We don't fuck around here, do we? This idea is happening. This idea is already happening. On October 16th, we will be hosting The Thing in Northern California. This is at Benjamin Balderson's land. To begin this entire experiment, this thing will be a welcoming workshop to learn about this sovereignty, to learn about this sovereign land. There'll be a lot of stuff happening this weekend. Trust me, it will be fun. A lot of great people want to come and present. It'll be fantastic. The food will be out of this world, I guarantee it. You will be asked to come into the woods and participate in a fire ceremony. If you're paranoid as shit, if you don't trust your own ability to not have butt sex, do not fucking come. If you hate the idea that there may be non-Christians there, stay the fuck away. If you're going to play into zeitgeist, if you're going to play into majority rule, if you're going to play into, I hate you because someone told me I should hate you, don't fucking come. This is not here to wipe your nose. This is not here to be training wheels. We're not going to cater to your lack of vigilance for morality or sovereignty. That time's over. You can stay in the kiddie pool. It's only going to get worse for you. But if you want to come to this thing, you can learn how to set this up. We're going to talk about it. This won't be my system. It won't be my idea. It'll be our idea. We're going to have that first council, guys. The first seating of the Grand Council. We're going to have that. We'll be forming a new nation. You don't even have to be a part of it. We don't want people to follow. Benjamin and I don't want you to follow us. We don't want you to give us land so we can buy fucking land. We want you to make your land sovereign. We want you to feel safe doing it. We want you to make your land sovereign and feel safe doing it and have the support and networking you need to set it up. That means you can't conform to Zionism right now. You can't cling to this shit. You're going to have to trust. You're going to have to extend your trust and put it back in yourself. And say, even though this guy doesn't have the same cosmology as I do, he's got the right fucking idea. This is the best apocalypse ever. Stop fucking it up. We're never going to get this done if we're playing quickening. Calling Aaron. This is Aaron.
James, how you doing?
Good, Aaron. How are you? You're live, by the way.
Yeah, I am.
Where are you?
On my back porch.
Right on.
Enjoying the sun and shade, my garden, the squirrels and birds running around.
You are about to embark on a grand journey, correct? You are currently in Missouri? And you're
Missouri.
Yeah, and you're heading out to California to Benjamin's place, aren't you? Can you tell us about that?
Well, it's just like you said. I don't know, back in New York, I got an invite from Ben and Christy, God bless them. And, man, it was an offer I couldn't refuse. So when I came back home, I explained to my dear beloved wife about it. And just like a lot of our audience, you know, we seek to purchase land and homestead. So this has been something we planned on for a while. But Benjamin and Christy and you and everybody at in our little fellowship up from New York really opened a door for me that I didn't have before. So I'm going to go up there and see what it's like to live off-grid. And while I do it, I'm going to be documenting all of it, hopefully live streaming if I can get enough subscribers. I need 1,000. I'm going to be uploading this and that about my journey. It is a hero's journey. And, whatever it becomes. I left my job, and I'm leaving home. My wife is supporting it, and so they'll be here at home. It's a whole family thing. I'm looking forward to being, doing this project with you and everybody else in the audience.
Yep.
So we've already formed an underground campfire network.
That's right, we have. Yep, it's already happening. It's fantastic, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
so for the next 3 moons, you're dedicating your time and space to this, among others, because you're learning a lot from Benjamin Balderson. Talk about a perfect apprenticeship is under that guy's tutelage with farming and all the other stuff he knows. But primarily, you're going to be also focusing on preparing for this event that we're calling the thing, right?
Yes.
And so the idea is we're going to look at this virgin land and figure out how to best hold as many people as we can for this event, so everyone will have an awesome time. This includes, making it friendly, creating the infrastructure for people to hang out there, creating the fire rings, creating the kitchen, preparing the food, working out catering, and even more importantly than that, on top of all that, making it beautiful, making people feel like, oh my God, someone wanted us to have this wonderful time as we show up today, and they did that with no requirement of payment or anything else. It's just purely out of the spirit of Potlatch.
Out of Potlatch, it's a joy. I've had the experience before.
Yep.
And so, yeah, for me to be out there and do that for the next 3 months, yeah.
Fantastic. Johnny747, the reason why we've been choosing new moons is because it's the time to start something new. I think that if you were to have this ceremony anytime during the waxing, you could argue that you're pulling the moon's energy in the sense that it's increasing. It's the energy of increasing. So it's just that new moon is something that we just sort of collectively came up with as being like an ideal date. I don't think that you need to stick to that necessarily strictly. It's just part of the resonance thing that we all try and do as we incorporate. A lot of us believe in the resonance. I think Aaron does too. I don't mean to speak to them, but a lot of us believe in the resonance of what we do. We want that to resonate on every level. We feel like the more it resonates, the more powerful that propagates through the system, basically. It's one of the reasons why Aaron and I chose this. Well, we want 19 people. Our idea was to keep using that number 19 to not only offset what they were doing, but actually to kind of piggyback on top of that energy and kind of ride it home, if that makes sense. Any words on that, Aaron?
Well, for me, in my experiences, this all started for me 9 years ago. And being in that house, that men's house, with 19 beds, 19 people, I mean, look where I've come. That 19 has been all over in my life, and a lot of numbers and stuff like that. So this is kind of how I think, how I look. Being able to participate in nature and universal law and natural law is the moon, that cycle. And in 9 years, I haven't really gotten so disciplined in it, but I'm always aware of my 13-month calendar.
Yeah.
I'm there. I'm looking, and the growth that I've gotten out of it. That's where it's at. That's where I found it. So yeah, I'm all about it, man.
Now the 19 itself, I don't know if people can even imagine this, but I've done this many times, whether it be Rainbow Family gatherings. It has the same kind of setup. So do a lot of festival work. A lot of powwows do too. Basically, Aaron is in charge of a team. So he's coming months before everyone else. And he'll have a crew of possibly 18 others. It looks like that. He's still forming that crew. He's got some members now. People have been... You've got a lot of people asking to join you, right?
Yeah, we'll have my Patreon subscribers. Those guys are amazing. Thank you to everyone who's signed up for my Patreon. But we've got a new, so we're 2 right now. A friend of mine is sending his 17-year-old boy, Kale, from Massachusetts, and he's going to join me from here in St. Louis all the way to California for the whole trip.
Yep. And right now we are assembling that team, which Aaron will be charged with. And what's beautiful is that team that goes to produce this event, they're in for something really special. Not only is it going to be like working in a tribe in the woods, which will be very transformative. I highly recommend it to all. But once this event gets on, you guys are going to notice that you've been instrumental in creating this tapestry for everyone else. And that's something that's never going to go away. You're going to remember this experience for the rest of your life. This is a truly, this actually is a form of trauma program, believe it or not, because it's going to be hard work. You're going to be putting in sacrifice. You're going to be showing up at the group fire that night after work. and you're going to be confronting each other because you're frustrated over lunch or something that happened.
Oh, yeah.
And this is exactly why we do it, guys. We want to create this atmosphere where vitriol, this is the word I keep using, vitriol is allowed to rise to the surface. It's not shot in the head by people who think we should be nice. That vitriol is the source of your growth. And if you're confronted over a fire where you can't turn on a TV, you can't pull up your cell phone and hide away, but you're just forced to deal with the confrontation of someone accusing you of something, that's where vitriol happens for everybody. Whether it be the person making the accusation or the person being accused, or even if the accusation's right or wrong, it's vitriol for everyone. So there's no wrong answers here at the campfire. What there is either being evacuated or being present. And that's truly what this is all about. It's learning how to be present. It's learning how to find those moments and savor them, no matter how difficult or joyous they are. We tend to shy away from the ones that are hard, and we tend to embrace and cling to the ones that are fun. And that's what's so beautiful about this event. I think it's what's so beautiful about the thing, because you're actually able to shake loose all the bullshit you've been told around other people that want to shake it loose too, all guided by someone as amazing as Benjamin Balderson, who can help hold that salt. He can pull that salt from the men, he could pull that oil from the women, and we will all leave that weekend completely transformed. The very same way we did in New York, right, Aaron?
Yeah, you'll have a sense of intoxication. There's proximity of fellowship, especially for individuals such as ourselves. Look at the beautiful tribe we formed just online.
Yep.
And it's not enough. It just isn't. And I've got some experience in this over the last 5 years, or even, just inside of me, I was like, I need more.
Yep.
And when these opportunities present themselves, and they have, the experience of going, what am I doing this for? What is this? Is this, and then going through the journey itself. That whole hero's journey is laid out for us. And when we take that opportunity and we go for it, you really just got to get the experience, and then we'll talk about it afterwards because it's great. So right now, this is the opportunity. This is the opportunity to find that fellowship. This is where the growth happens. That's where all my growth really occurs. It's that proximity of fellowship and these opportunities. I'm not so special that I'm not here at home, doing the zeitgeist Babylon grind every day. But I'm at that point in my life where I know that this can no longer go on.
Yeah.
So when an opportunity like this presents itself, I have to make sacrifices, and my sacrifice is ball. I dropped the ball.
That's right.
Guys, you got to know that on my end, I am making some major sacrifices, and I'm getting the encouragement and the support from you guys. Oh, man, I wake up, I could cry right now. I just want to tell you, everyone out there, how much I love you. If we are in proximity, I'd love to meet so many of you. It's an experience you must not miss. And, this is the journey.
That's right. True hero's journey, and Aaron answered the call. I encourage you guys all, subscribe to Aaron. You can watch him every day. He's dropping just quick little videos here and there, just giving you updates, telling you what's happening. You can watch this sovereignty plan unfold in real time. And if you don't want to watch, you want to participate, let us know. This is not something where you have to wait for Aaron or you have to wait for him to create this thing. No. You do it.
No.
You do it. And if you need help, you call us. Aaron's been mailing ashes all over. We took the ashes, the salt from that first fire. In fact, Aaron's in front of that fire on this picture on the screen right now. We took the ashes from that first fire, that salt, and we've been mailing them all over the world. It's part of the idea. This is not our thing. This is your thing. This is a sovereign thing. It's time for us to do this, guys. And we can't hide behind, no, we all have to be the same religion. Or no, we have to all believe the exact same thing about this. Stop. You want diversity. You want these differences. You want to sit next to a human.
Campfire. It really does.
Yeah.
It just creeps up on. That's the vitriol that's happening.
Yeah.
And when you're around like-minded people, it's just, yeah. So that's why I'm putting in all the hard work. That's why I'm making the sacrifices. There's very few things I'm convinced of in this world, but what we're talking about here, I am convinced.
Yeah.
It's been my last 9 years of my life. It's made me who I am.
Yep. I agree. I can't wait to join you, Aaron. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm already excited about the things that are already happening, and I know that this snowball is already much bigger than we think it is. I know that there's already a lot of people. Brent Scheneman has reported he's gotten over 150 emails of people that are interested in this kind of stuff, about doing it themselves or asking for this or whatever. So, this is a real opportunity for all of us. And I'm thank you, Aaron, for being at the front lines of this. It's awesome that you're the first. You're basically the first fire tender. You're the first. Yeah, you're the first. You're the first fire keeper is what you are. You're the very first fire keeper. And in this nation,
shoulder to giants, James, you know that.
Yep, in this nation that we're building, this nation of sovereignty, you're securing your seat right there as the Onondagas, as one of the fire keepers, as one of the elders. And guys, we need more. We need more. This is not about Aaron. It's not about me. It's not about any of that. This land that we're looking for is, these plots of land can be 1 acre. They can be 1,000 acres. It's what you give to this sovereign land is going to be a reflection over what forms there. It could be a small campsite that has 2 tents. It could be a field where people can stop for lunch. It could be a giant fire ring with a lake that has a rope swing and all kind. It's what you guys do is going to be directly proportional to how amazing this nation is that you help create. That's
and when
basically.
You say tapestry, that's the art.
Yep.
We all are able to do our art. So that's why I know that I'm walking into the unknown. This has not been created before.
That's right.
This is all new, all unique. And we'll look back on this and we'll never be able to create it again, but we'll even do greater things.
That's right. In fact, we wouldn't be able to create this had we not be in a sense of darkness. And now we're coming into the light. It gives us this opportunity to create this system, in my opinion, all over again. I don't even think what we're doing is new. What we're really doing is restoring what used to be here a long time ago.
That's the ancestral memory.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps right now. That's my idea of it. And I don't know what other people's are, but my experience so far, that's my bones talking to me.
Yep.
And I speak to my unborn generation ahead of me. I swear I can hear them, man. They cheer us on. They're like, thank you for waking up, for taking this action. If this is the best apocalypse ever, let's make it the best apocalypse ever.
That's right. That's right, which means it's go time right now. Right now it's go time.
time.
Not 5 months from now, not after I do this, not after I do that. No, this has to be happening now, guys. It's hitting all around us.
And I'm going to put in the work, and I'm going to get some help and stuff, but as the Patreon grows, my channel grows, with Benjamin and everybody else that's included, I want to give an experience for people who are out of country. There's some amazing people I've talked to already. You guys, I love you. You're emailing me, and we exchanged ashes and stuff. Just because you're not in America or situationally you can't make it, you can definitely participate.
Yep, this has nothing to do.
Everything you do with, whatever you feel like you can do, it is a big help, and it's going to create this whole project.
Yep. I agree, and this is so much bigger than America. I think that our the salt from that fire has gone so far as to Scotland right now. So
South Australia might be.
Oh well, that's even farther. Right on. Well, cool.
That's our friend Kieran, Franny.
Oh, right on. Fantastic.
He's the boss.
That's fantastic. Well, great. Well, Aaron, I'm going to hang up because I want to make sure I can plug your site. I'm going to put both these things in the chat so people can subscribe. And thanks for checking in. And hopefully we'll be checking in more as you progress and work your way out to Bend. You should be there in about a week, right? A week or so?
If everything goes planned, I'm acquiring items like a trailer and a hitch and stuff and dealing with the system. I'm trying to stay away from it, but I'm actually going to go pick up a trailer right now. Hopefully everything's good. What's up, son? You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi.
My boy.
Wait, what I need to say something.
1 second.
I'm with my friends.
You are with your friends. She's riding this bike.
No, I'm not riding my bike. I'm in their house.
What?
Yeah.
Ripping yourself?
Yeah.
You guys playing?
Wait, you still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got salt in front of me.
Okay.
He's being salty. He's summer, and he's without shoes on, and he's already dirty.
That's the way to be.
It's 11 o'clock. I love you guys.
Yeah, I love you too. I'm going to post your links, man, and I'm proud to be your patron too. Thanks for being there, Aaron. We'll talk soon.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Snake out.
All right. Yes, that was Aaron. Here is Aaron's YouTube channel. Please subscribe to him. It'd be great. What did I just do? He goes by Snake Jones, by the way. I know him as Aaron. There's his that is now in YouTube, and now it's in DLive and Facebook. I cannot post it to you. I'm really sorry. It will be in the show notes, though. If you go to this YouTube video, you will see it in the show notes. So, this is going to be unwrapping and revealing itself in real time, how this system works. I say that because when we're sitting around the fire at that council, I think more and more people will give their amazing feedback and ideas and constructions into this idea of the universal government, of how we can run this sovereign land system that we're creating in real time. I encourage any of you that can come to this event to please come. More details are coming soon, definitely. Like I said, they're going to be prepping for this weekend powwow. It's, a couple days. That powwow, you're welcome to come in. It'll be limited camping. There's only so much room. But it may even be that there's one day where if you don't want to camp, you could come in for that day, and maybe we'll have a bigger crowd. More details will come. But in that crowd, there will be a workshop that James True will be running called Sovereign Government. And it will be just simply providing a framework. We'll be doing a lot more work on this, but we're going to provide a framework, a starter outline that you could use and start to incorporate this. The most closest example I could ever think about this is in a way you'd sort of be starting a nonprofit organization, but in your heart. Thank you, Squirrel. In your heart. That once you form this this tribe in your heart, you'll start to pay attention to the new moons. I see a lot of you going to your land on the new moon that you want to make sovereign, and maybe the first night you're asking the land, should I call you sovereign land? How much of this land should be sovereign land? How does this work? Am I too nervous about this? Is someone going to screw me over? What is my concern? What is my fear? All that's natural, guys. No one's saying you shouldn't have that. That's all natural. That's part of why we're working on this. This takes courage. It takes courage to grab the torch. It takes courage to grab the torch when everyone's telling you that torch is secretly something else evil, right? When everyone else is telling you need to fear that torch, you need to run the fuck away from that torch, don't. Don't do it. Don't do it. Think about why you're here. Thinking about all the faculties God gave you. Think about what the zeitgeist has done to us, causing us to live in that same kind of fear bullshit. Don't do it. Be sovereign. Be Prometheus. Don't fall for this bullshit, guys. It's New World time. It's go time. Right now. Right now. Brent Scheneman is the man to contact if you want to join the Underground Campfire Network. Basically, state your area. If you're looking for a tribe, state what you have. If you have some land that you'd like to experiment with the idea of sovereign land, or maybe even pre-sovereign land, even having a powwow of yourself. The key is going to be establishing this as sovereign land. We've learned recently you cannot have it where one person's going to own the land and we're requiring their nicety or their politeness to allow everyone else to have it. That's not going to work. This is why this 33-acre tract I found down here in the Appalachian Trail, it would be this sovereign land. It would be this new model. I know this is going to take off. I know that the very first person who does it is going to have really big balls. I know that. And we will find that person soon. I know we will. That person will show up. They will be there at this event. They will come earlier. Something will happen. All of this is happening, guys, in real time. It's already happening. Put some room in your heart for it. Make some space right here for it. Think about it. Let that heart play that drum. Let that drum say sovereign, 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 sovereign. Stop being afraid of all this. It's time to do this. All right, you guys. Subscribe to Aaron's YouTube channel. Join his Patreon. Join my Patreon if you want. This is only going to get bigger. We're only going to keep kicking ass. No one is going to stop me. I don't care how much they like or don't like me. No one is going to stop me. This idea has been a long time coming. It's not even my idea. It's the land's idea. I'm just simply listening. We all are. I can't wait till more of us are listening. It's going to be amazing. You guys have a happy Friday. Tonight I'm streaming with Amanda Vollmer. Look forward to that. Don't have a time. should be on her channel. I think it's that time where it's on her channel this time. Stay tuned for that. Tomorrow, Benjamin Balderson will be here. Looking forward to that. We got a lot to discuss. We're actually going to go over the Hermetic principles and things like that. Best apocalypse ever. Keep it going. Welcome to Vitriol. Drink it up like coffee, man. Vitriol.